Hey everybody, happy Sunday to you. I'm Chef Jay and this is ButcherBox / Truffle Shuffle Sunday classes. And today is National Seafood Bisque Day. And in honor of that, we're going to make a chowder. Because why? A chowder is better. Hi Rich, it's good to see you. Let's go chefs. I'm so excited. So first of all, just a little about me. I am the chef here at ButcherBox and Truffle Shuffle. And I also have a fun social media called @ChopHappy. And Chop Happy is all about easy recipes for busy people with a dash of gratitude. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make easy recipes, an easy soup. Thank you very much. An easy soup to warm our tummies, but also our hearts because it's not stressful at all. And I'm going to show you some fun tips to make it even less stressful. And we're going to be grateful because, you know, this is going to be fun. So secondly, before we get started, let's also introduce the people behind the people, the most amazing two people out there, Roxy and Francine. They are amazing. They're our chat support. Say hello to them. They're at ButcherBox HQ right now. They're amazing. And if you have questions or get lost through the recipe, they're going to answer all that stuff. And without them, this would not happen because I don't know how to use technology. So they're amazing. And they have a wealth of knowledge. So anything that you need, just feel free to ask as well, too. So before we get started, I see some of you guys have already done that. I love this. Hi, Julie. We're going to do, I want you to tell me in the chat so we can test it out where you're cooking from and are you cooking along with me. And I'm cooking in New York City. If you know where Chelsea Market is with the High Line, I'm literally right there, but my apartment is very small. So all my neighbors are going to smell this delicious soup. But put into the chat where you're cooking from and I can give you a shout out into there. And Rich and Dennis, hopefully we got to your questions about that. You can cook the salmon separately, obviously, and then just put it in there. Hello, Wendy from El Dorado Hills, California. I feel like that needs to be a song. Okay, here we go. And are we supposed to do anything before class, Stephanie? You don't need to do anything before class. Hi to Stephanie. Just hang tight. We're going to do it all together. Allison, a bit light on potatoes. Could I use extra? Yes, you can use kale, cauliflower, sweet potatoes, anything you want. Or you can go higher with the carrots and the celery if you want as well, too. Hi, Barbara and John and Barbara in Georgia. It's good to see you. Hi, Janice in New York. Janice, where in New York you are? I'm in Manhattan. Hello, Oregon, right over there as well, too, for Russ and Sherry. Hello, Julie in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's right near QVC, I think. I think I've been to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, Rich. I'm ready to go. Hello from Calgary. Mary from up there. Hello from Canada. That's awesome. And then you're in Orlando, Florida, cooking with Mickey. Hi, Wendy. It's nice to see you again from El Dorado. Isabel in New York City. Isabel, food and travel. So you cook too. Where in New York City are you, Isabel? I'm in Chelsea. Okay, we have G Cam in Stamford, Connecticut. I went to school at Quinnipiac, which is in New Haven, Connecticut. Patricia from Cali, from the Bay Area, cooking along with you. My husband's from Oakland, Patricia. Jordan from Orlando, cooking. Oh, Frisco, Texas. Stephanie, I literally just went to Austin, Texas about a month ago. Is that Cocoa? Cacao, Florida. Either way, I want chocolate now. Kansas City, Missouri. If you know, Missouri has really good burnt end barbecue. Everything's food for me, by the way. We have a lot of great people here. Hi, it's so good. We have a lot of people here today. Harrison, okay, Harrisburg, we already said that. Saratoga, California. We got Green Bay, Wisconsin, the cheese capital of the world. Cheese, you can't say cheese without smiling. And there, hi, Allison from Florida, Diana and John from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Christmas sauce. If you don't know what that is, it's unbelievable. It's red and green sauce. And Tammy and Dustin from Long Beach, California. I love it. Are you cooking on the beach, Tammy? Rich is calling from Georgia and Chelsea, Michigan. Already prepared a lot. Hi, Mark from San Jose. And I'm excited for you to watch. Please put onto ButcherBox, Truffle Shuffle, and Chop Happy your finished product. Cooking from Illinois. We have Chicago, St. Louis, Missouri, home of the toasted ravioli. Jen from Dallas, Texas. Jen, does Dallas or Austin have better barbecue? I think I just started a controversy in the chat. Denver, Colorado. Andrew, we got Colorado Springs. Man, there's just so many awesome people. Jupiter, Florida here. We already have someone who loves salmon chowder. We have another San Jose. And Jen from Austin. Okay, I went, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was something Blacks, but I went to a barbecue place, and it was so insanely good. This New York City person, like, literally wanted to just, like, hide for when they closed and just continued eating the barbecue. It was freaking amazing. Not prepared everything. All right, Craig. Well, that's awesome. I love that. Terry Blacks. That's literally what it was called. Yes. Yeah. My niece lives there with her boyfriend. My sister's a little bit older than me, so my niece and nephews aren't little kids like my friends' kids are. They're older. They're in like 20s and 30s. So it's fun. So we get to hang out, except they like to drink with me, and I still think of them as little babies. But we went for a barbecue, and it was amazing. I love eating food in other places. One of the best parts about living in New York City is you can get almost anything you want in New York City, but barbecue is not one of them. Yeah, I've been to Dallas as well, too. Okay. You guys are all so fun. So fun. Oh, very cool. Me too. I love mise en place. Craig, you're gonna love this because we're gonna talk about how to stay nice and organized in there as well too. So first of all, let's talk about our mise en place. I don't know much more than New Jersey language. 2 feet are feets to me. That's the plural of foot is feets. But I do know one French word that everyone should use to keep yourself de-stressed in the kitchen, and that is mise en place. I believe that's French. See, I'm even doubting myself on that one. Mise en place means everything in its place. And I'm going to tell you what it's a good substitute for time. You can use any dry herb you want to. You can use oregano. You can use parsley. Whatever you want would be good. And the seasoning I'm about to show you, you could just use all of that in there. So let's start out, first of all, with our beautiful ButcherBox salmons. So I have 2 fillets here. You can go ask the butcher to take the skins off of them. If you don't want, you don't have to even take the skin off. It's totally fine on this and there. And you can just check to see if there's any bones. And we're going to cut this in a second. So we need our ButcherBox fillets in there. So I want to leave that there for you. We're going to need, and if we can go to the Sky Cam in here. So we're going to need the famous, if you haven't gotten this yet, I promise I don't make commission, but I love it. And I have 5 of them sitting in my kitchen right now, and I use them all up. The lemon pepper sauce, seasoning, I apologize. And then if you've watched these before, Francine and Roxanne could tell you exactly what I'm going to say next. Salt is one of the first ingredients. One of the things I love about ButcherBox, not just because I work with them, is that salt is not usually in any kind of seasoning packet as the first ingredient, and salt's really important flavor enhancer. So I love this. So we're doing lemon pepper. Quite fuzzy. Can you see? Okay, and then we're going to do salt, and I'm using Truffle Shuffle salt right there. You can use any salt. Truffle Shuffle is also Roxy, and me and Francine also work with them as well too. But you can use regular salt if you want to as well. So the ButcherBox seasoning is lemon and pepper. It's got a little bit of sugar in there. It's got garlic powder, turmeric in there as well too. For you. But if you wanted to, you could just use salt, pepper, and squeeze a little bit of lemon juice onto your salmon as well too. You're going to use it for your garnish anyway. But this lemon pepper stuff is so good on fish, especially salmon, cod, or seafood all together. So what we're going to need as our veggies is we're going to need 2 potatoes. We're going to need 2 carrots, 1 celery, almost everyone's in 2s, 2 garlic cloves, an onion, some thyme, and you could use dry thyme too, but I'm going to use the fresh thyme. And what I just do is I count how many of these I have. So about 3 robust sprigs of this is probably what you would need. Lemon, and then I used all my dill in a different recipe, so I'm just going to use parsley instead of dill in there as well. And then you're also going to need some stock as well. If you get the box of stock, that actually is 4 cups already, so you don't have to measure. If you get the big box of stock, and then you're going to need some cream as well too. So if there's any substitutes you guys need for this stuff, let me know. I know a couple of you guys said, what is the substitute for thyme? You could use oregano for that. You could just leave it out all together. It will be delicious on its own. If you want this to be a little bit of spicy, you can add a little bit of red pepper flakes into it as well too, or some hot sauce at the end. If you don't want to use cream, you can actually use Greek yogurt. Sky's the limit. Just ask the question. I will help you with it. But we're going to do something that Roxy and Francine love when I go off script. So I wrote this recipe. I'm going to now do the opposite of what I wrote down on the recipe. So grab your salmon. So we're going to start that. Okay, so what you need first is your salmon, your lemon pepper seasoning. If you don't have that, you can use any kind of seasoning you want. And your salt, right? So, and then we're going to leave our salmon on a separate cutting board from our veggies so that we don't contaminate it into there. And then what you're going to do is you're also going to have 2 separate knives, or you can really wash the knife. If I wasn't doing this as a class, I'd wash the knife and then use it again, but 2 separate knives otherwise. So what you're going to do is we're going to take our salmon and we're going to cut them up into chunks, right? So what I'm basically just doing is making little strips, almost like we're making fish sticks right over there, like that. Well, are we blurry on your ends, Roxy and stuff? People keep saying we're blurry. Can you see us all today? Sorry about that, Wendy. I don't know what's happening. Maybe sign out and sign back in, Wendy, to see if you can see it. On our end, we're not blurry on there. So sign back in and see if that helps with the blurriness. For Wendy, we'll let you back in. Oh, we're very blurry. Okay, please focus. So on our end, it's not blurry, right, Roxy? Do you want to I don't know what to do in this case. Roxy, what do you what do you guys? Is everyone saying we're blurry?
Yeah,
Okay,
a
well,
little blurry on our end, chef.
it is.
Yeah.
On my end, it's not blurry. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Does that help? Now is it blurry? How is that? Did that help with the blurriness on my end?
Yeah, it's still blurry, chef.
Huh, on my end, it's not blurry at all. Okay, you know what I'm going to do, guys? You stay right where you are. I'm going to log off and log back on, and let's see what happens, okay? Will you let me back in, though, okay? Okay. All right, am I blurry still? I'm good now? Okay, you guys can all see me. I'm not blurry anymore, right? I'm just going to add the extra camera into here as well. Okay, no blurriness anymore. Thanks, guys. On my end, I wasn't blurry at all. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, we are back. All right, so again, real quick, you're going to use the truffle. Well, I'm going to go through each ingredient so that you get a good idea of it. Right over there. Awesome. Sorry, Rich. Sorry, Wendy. Sorry, everyone. So basically, I took 2 salmon. I'll start from the beginning. I took 2 salmon fillets, and I'm just cutting them into soldiers. So I'm cutting them into strips, almost like fish cakes, like there. And then I'm going to take them and I'm going to cut them again into like squares. Now, it really doesn't matter. You're going to actually soak this in the actual soup. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to look something like that. Those chunks like there. You can even make it smaller if you want to. And then these are just going to cook right in the soup, right into there. So the next part of what we're going to do along with that, I'm just going to wash my hands real quick. Sorry about that. So we can do this together so I can show you. And then the next thing is going to be a fun trick that we're going to do. So I'm going to show you how to get great seasoning on my YouTube, which is also Chop Happy. On my YouTube, I just posted this, and I thought that this was something I almost didn't post it, but it like kind of went viral. And it's just about how to season properly your fish. So basically what I like to do is prepare my fish first, right? If I'm anything not seafood, but just regular fish, actually even shrimp and scallops will do this too. And then what I do is on a separate cutting board, I will season it. My lemon pepper sauce right there. I keep calling it sauce. Seasoning right there. I will season it. So I'm putting lemon pepper in there and my salt. So in this case, if you don't have the ButcherBox lemon pepper yet, if you want it, they're going to give you the link for it in there. But if you don't have it yet, you can also just use salt and pepper and garlic powder and onion powder in there. And then you're just going to mix it all together. I already washed my hands. I'm just going to mix it like this with a knife. Good. You're going to mix it all together in there. And I love seasoning on a cutting board because all the seasoning stays right there so you can get even more. I'm going to mix it all together just like that. And then you're going to take your salmon or cod or whatever you're using or shrimp and just let it sit on the sidelines. The longer you let this season, the better it's going to be, right? You're welcome, Mary. Sorry about all that. So the longer you let the season, the better it is. So 15, 20 minutes. And the point of this is that if you season this right before you drop it into the soup, you're just going to get the surface of the salmon is the only thing that's going to be flavored. But if you let it sit for like 15 to 20 minutes, you're actually going to get the seasoning to go all the way through the salmon. Any fish like salmon, swordfish, cod, any of those kinds of fishes, I always cut it first, and then I'll take it and I'll just move it to the side and just let it chill out. And this way, as you're cutting the rest of your stuff, you aren't worrying about sitting on the couch and waiting for all your stuff to go. Your salmon is going to season. And by the time you finish cutting all your other stuff, the seasoning will got all the way through the salmon and you'll be ready to go. So it's a fun tip. So this is one of the things that I like to do especially if you're working. When me and my partner first started dating 19 years ago, 19 years ago, we first started dating and moved into this really, really small apartment in New York City. So small, literally you could touch the other end of the apartment from one end to the other. We tried to find like hacks and ways to like make things easier for us and to make stuff happen. And we both worked like crazy. I'm originally a doctor, so I was just out of school and starting a practice. He was in fashion, so we had like no money and no time. So one of the things is we want to eat right away so we can go to sleep and work again. So like I found ways to make sure our food tasted really good, but didn't take much time. So one of those is if you're working with fish, cut the fish first, season it, or even if it's a whole piece of fish, season it and just put it to the side and all that seasoning will go through. So next up is one of my favorite things, another part of the mise en place. I'm going to try not to let this onion go over there. So we're going to cut up our veggies. So a couple things. First of all of these things are going to end up going into our pot of soup. So we're going to cut it up, and I use a big cutting board. So this way, everything just sort of chills out right over there instead of a small cutting board so that I have lots of space. The lemon is for later, and the parsley is just garnish. So I'm going to put it right at the corner. We are not going to take anything off of this thyme. I'm going to show you a fun trick later for this. So you don't need to do anything with the thyme. So you can put the thyme there. But if you're nervous and you want to take it off, you could go, you hold the top of the stem and you push down with your fingers and you'll get the thyme off of the stem like that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it all intact in there. So, and just a real quick check. Everyone can see everything. Nothing's blurry, right? For there. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start out with our veggies. So let's start out with our celery. A fun way to do with celery is, first of all, the top part, save the leaves because they're really good garnish. And then the part that's too is too fibrous, like the ends of it, save it because you can use it for veggie stock later. And then you're going to cut off that part there. And then to make a very beautiful cut, so it looks really pretty on there. Yes, 5 by 5, Dr. Chef J. I love it, Rich. Okay, so to make a very beautiful cut, I just cut the celery in half, just like that, so that this way they're kind of even right into there. And then if you want it to be even smaller, this is a chunky soup, so we're not going to do that. You can cut it in half again if you want to look like Gordon Ramsay and be a Michelin star chef. And then one of the tricks I want to teach you is that when you're cutting your veggies, if you pretend like you're on TikTok or Instagram and you go like that, or you're a judge, order in the court, you are actually going to put all the juices of your veggies, your herbs or stuff onto the cutting board. Instead, what you want to do is a rocking motion. So if you go like this, you're going to get beautiful, even cuts, and then all the celery juice stays in the celery, and you're not smashing it in any way and getting rid of all that flavor that goes into there. So I'm going to put that to the side right over there. For the carrots, same thing. We're going to use 2 carrots right there. So you're going to cut off the tops, and I save this, and we're going to put this into a Ziploc bag, and I might as well do this now because I already have 2 Ziploc bags of this. So this is a fun thing. I always throw the tops or the fibrous parts that I'm not going to eat into a Ziploc bag so that I have it. And then when it fills up, I make veggie stock with it. Okay, so let's do that. The other one right into the Ziploc bag as well. Voila. And then since I already took the herbs off this, the stem of these herbs can also go in that Ziploc bag. When you fill up the Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer. When you fill it up with all the ends of your garlics and all your veggies, put it with some water in a slow cooker and some garlic and let it cook all day, and you'll have free veggie stock right into there. So then we're going to cut our carrots in half, just like that. And then I'm going to cut the carrots lengthwise in half. This one's a tough carrot right there. This carrot went to the gym. It's tough. Just like that. And then we're going to, so this way, we can let it sit like this. So don't cut it where it can rock. You want to put it like that. Okay, and put that like there. And then we're going to cut the carrots again in half again so that we get smaller sticks of that. And then you're just going to do the same thing. Same sort of thing. You're just going to dice it just like that. If you do the rocking motion, you actually have more control over your knife too. And you get an evener cut of the actual veggies. So if you see, they all relatively look the same size because we did the rocking motion. And you don't have to go super fast. I've been cooking forever. So if we weren't doing this, I could probably go really fast with this. But you can, if you're just practicing, then just go really slow with it because you don't want to cut your hands. And a sharp knife makes a huge difference. I know people say that all the time on TV, but a sharp knife really makes a huge difference on this because it cuts through it and it's less likely that you're going to cut your hands on there. So there we go. So you can see this is already getting chunky. And the best part about this is that you're actually going to get tons of veggies in here. So it's going to be a healthy, except for the cream, obviously, it's going to be super healthy. So we're going to get a nice amount of veggies. And you can use fennel for this if you wanted to. Instead of potatoes, you could use sweet potatoes instead if you wanted to as well. In this, Japanese sweet potatoes would be really good in this because it's nice and fibrous. And if you watched on Netflix How to Live to 100, apparently that's how you do it, by hitting those potatoes right into there. So we got all of those veggies. How are we all doing so far? Everyone's doing good so far? To see what you do. Curious to see what you do. Okay, I'm so excited, Craig. Butcher, are you a butcher? An actual butcher, Craig? That'd be so cool. All right. So carrots, celery, and onion. So the next thing we're going to do is take this onion and we're going to take its toupee off, which is the hairy part right over here. And it's going to go as well into our thank you for coming Ziploc bag. That's going to be free veggie broth. And we're going to cut this onion in half. And I always buy too big of an onion, so half my onion is going to stay there. And then we're going to take the skin off the onion as well too. So the skin of onions and garlic, because we're going to strain this when we make veggie stock at some point. The skin and the onion, skin of the onions and the garlic also can go in here because there's tons of flavor in there. And then for the onion, you're just going to cut it in half and then follow the lines of the onion and you're going to cut through just like that. And then this way, you're going to get a beautiful dice of onion. I actually cut it a little bit bigger in there so that it matches the size of the carrots and everything so they all cook together. But this is a rustic soup, and we're not serving this to the Queen of England or the King of England now. So it's okay. I'm going to put this in there just like that. And now we have basically almost all our veggies done. The last thing we need to do is the potato. Not a butcher, oh my God, I love that. Yes, thank you. A philosopher. All right, I want to know your favorite philosophy quote that is going to keep us happy through life. I love philosophy. That's awesome. And where are you studying philosophy? That's amazing. So while he does that, my philosophy on potatoes, Craig, and everybody else here is, oh, wow. Oh, you're from Brooklyn originally. Olga from Brooklyn. That's awesome. All right. So my, I'm going to start crying because this onion is very strong. My philosophy on potatoes is whatever potato floats your boat, that's a potato you use. This is a russet or an Idaho potato, but you can use any potato you want. That's the number one question I get. I actually posted this on social media, and a lot of people DM'd me and asked me which kind of potato is best. If we're talking about mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving, that changes everything. Then the potato really matters for you. If you're making mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving, the potato I'm using now, the russet or the Idaho potato, is really the most important. Russet or Idaho potato is the best potato used for creamy potatoes. And then the Yukon Gold potatoes are good for smashing it if you want a more rustic potato in there. But I think we got our philosophy. What does the philosophy say? If you believe you can, or believe you can't. Oh, I love that quote. I love that quote. End of Voltaire Candide, work in the garden. You are amazing. Look at this. This is a fun class. It's Sunday, so we're getting our thing, and I'm crying. See that right there? But it's really the onions. So for this, you can use any potato you have lying around the house. I've actually done this with sweet potatoes too, as well too. So you could do any potato you have lying around the house. But because we're hitting Thanksgiving, one of my favorite things, I don't know if you guys watch me, but I'm also cook on Good Morning America and a bunch of other shows that I'm going to be doing some Thanksgiving stuff. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is going to involve potatoes, and we're going to talk about what kind of potatoes we're going to use. That one's not for Good Morning America. What kind of potatoes to use for Thanksgiving based on what you like. What's your preference versus potatoes? But you can also go on my TikTok or YouTube, and I have it there too, but I've already given you the secret for it. Russet or Idaho potatoes give you a creamier potato, whereas Yukon Gold potatoes, you just smash it with the skin on, and you get a nice rustic potato. I put some bacon and cheddar and scallions in with Yukon Gold potato, just like that. So hopefully I talked your ear off, but just enough that you're ready to make soup. Just enough. And I'm so verklempt. Talks amongst yourselves, because this onion is super strong. So are we all ready? Can I get some fun emojis about how excited you are to make this soup? Because that's where we're going next. And hopefully this one's not blurry too. Do you want to check to see if this side's okay too? On there, sometimes the side gets, this one's okay? We're all good? Okay. So if you're, let's see some fun emojis from all you guys out there, your soup emojis or your fun excitement that you have for this right there. I love it. Jordan, I love that. Really, I just found out the ricer technique for potatoes. Only have to do it once, but it changed my mashed potato life. Yes, you know, if you don't have a ricer, you can actually just use a sieve, which is like this. And you can just push the potatoes in through the sieve. I use these to get my dumplings out of the water. So you could do that as well, too. Rich, that is an amazing emoji. Thank you, Allison, for your amazing emoji. Wendy with the emoji. Oh, my God, you guys are so much fun. Hi, Wendy. It's nice to see you. All right, look at that. Okay, so let's go to the sky cam over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our oven on, and we're going to turn, we're going to turn on our stove, and we're turning our stove on to a medium high heat. So really, this is have it your way. But I would like to say is I like it to be more of a medium so that you can get all of the onions and the veggies to soak through, and you get some of the beautiful flavor comes out. The slower you cook it, the better. Roxy and Francine and me used to do corporate cooking classes, and we made risottos all Christmas long last year. And one of my favorite things about risottos, if you cook the onions or the shallots really slow, it lets out that flavor from the onion. You actually have a much more amazing risotto. So, sponsored. This is actually sponsored. Graza oil right there. They have a sizzle, which is this one. Thank you, Graza, for this. We're going to put some oil in there. And then we're legit just going to put our veggies into the pot. So I'm going to take my onions, and my carrots are going to go in the pot. Hello. Onions and carrots are going to in this. This is originally a Norwegian stew. Oh, wow, look at that. I love Donnie. I love your emoji as well. Just like that. And I always like to say when you hear that sizzle, that is your food cheering you on. Oh, don't worry about that garlic. We're going to use that garlic in 1 second. We're just going to get these going first. I'm going to show you something fun with the garlic. Good, just like that. And by the way, the smaller you cut the veggies, the faster it's going to cook too, just so you know, into there. Chopping took a long time this time compared to usual. So we're going to add in some salt into there, using truffle salt into there. And then I'm also going to add some of the ButcherBox lemon pepper which is not in the recipe, but why not? Just into there as well too. And I'm going to mix it around just like this. And we're going to just let this start to cook up really nicely into there. Good, just like that. A piece of potato just flew onto my floor. Right into there, it escaped, but we're not letting the rest of them escape. Right, like that. And for the interest of time, I'm going to turn mine up to high so I can show you what happens. Okay, and then the next thing I'd like to do is I'm actually going to take my garlic cloves and I'm just going to smash them. Just like that. I'm going to just smash them. You could also slice them, but I just want to release some of the oils to it. And I'm going to throw my garlic cloves in with my veggies. If I was to chop that garlic up, then it would definitely burn in the soup. So we definitely don't want to do that. We kind of want to just let it sort of flavor up these veggies, just like that. And then what you're going to do with that is you're going to then let these veggies cook for a little bit, right, into there. And then what we're going to do is after we've gotten a little bit of brown on these veggies, by the way, smelling this lets you know it's soup season. It smells so freaking good. It's all right. And then the next thing is that we're going to take our thyme leaves and I'm just going to throw them in there. You just got to count. If you're going to put them and thyme in a bundle, or you could just count. I have three stems of thyme leaves, and the leaves will come off the stem while it's cooked, and you just have to fish out 3 stems. That's all you're looking for right in there. Fishing out 3 stems into there. So you're going to go just like that. And we're going to mix it all together. And again, just so you guys know, you could use anything you want here. You can use just all carrots, celery, and onion. You could do sweet potatoes. You could leave the potatoes out in here. When this soup is done, before you add the salmon, you can actually blend this all together. A little chicken stock and make it creamier as well too. No, I didn't peel the minus. What does that say over there? What about the garlic? No, yep, I did peel the garlic. So the garlic cloves are peeled. I just smashed them after I peeled them. So and just put them right into that over there. So while you're waiting, the next thing you want to do is we just want to cook these a little bit, but we want the difference between a bisque and like a chunky stew like this would be, or is that you want to like make this chunky and cook a little bit, but you don't want it to be super small. So like a chowder, as they'll say, if anyone's from New England, you want the veggies to be the forefront of everything right into there. So the veggies should shine. With a bisque, it's nice and creamy and there's no chunks in there. So it's really cool. So this is why we keep it in there. And then you're going to get your stock in there. I actually have veggie stock right here because I use all my fresh veggie stock. And you're going to get that ready to go. You need 4 cups of this. And then we also are going to use some cream, but we're going to do that at the end for us there. And then what I just want to do is I don't need to see any color on this, but I just want to see it soften up a little bit. And you can kind of tell from the potatoes, if you look, let me see if I can catch a potato into there. The potato will start to get a little white around it, and it'll start to get a little translucent around the potato. And that's how you know it's almost there. So what I'm going to do next is throw in my stock right into there. And the best part about this is that the salmon is actually going to poach in all the stock right into there. And it happens literally in very little time. So on the recipe, I said to you that you can actually do this for 4 to 5 minutes, right? But you could do this longer. You can actually put this on low, put the cover on it, go help your kids with their homework, go watch your favorite show on TV, wait for your husband or wife or partner or whoever, friend or roommate to come home, and just keep this on a very low simmer. And then when they come in, you just drop in that salmon. So you actually don't have to. Just don't leave the salmon out if you're going to be more than an hour. But you can actually do that as well too. So this is just the base to it, and you can actually put cod. You could drop shrimp or scallops in there. You know those little bay scallops, the small ones that no one knows what to do with. You can actually drop those in there as well too. You can actually add bacon to this before you put the soup and get a little bit of a more beefy, sort of smoky flavor to this. The sky's literally the limit. I like this because it's light and fabulous, and it's based on a great Norwegian soup right into there. But you can do anything you want with this and change it up in any way that you want to as well too. So this is really cool. So all you're going to do now is we're going to let this go for a couple minutes just so it soaks in and gets the potatoes actually to cook. But you want a little bite in the veggies so you get that sort of texture of the veggies, and the salmon's ready to go in the pool. And this is going to be so exciting. So the next part that you're going to need to get out is your cream. We're going to need our lemon, and we're going to need something to top the soup when it's done. It's almost like when you go out and you have a beautiful dress, you need a great pair of earrings to go with it. Or if you got a great suit on, you need a great tie to go with it. Or in my case, t-shirt and jeans and a great hat to go with it. So that's what the garnish is for you. So the lemon doesn't go on till the end, but you're going to cut your lemon up. I like to cut it in half, leave one half to squeeze into the soup, and then take the other half, and I just like to cut it into wedges, or like sort of wedges like that, into fours, and leave it on the side with their spoons if they want it to be a little more acidic. Any kind of acid will actually brighten up any dish. If you go to a restaurant, they're actually going to put some kind of acid in your food before you actually get the food on the table. So right before your food goes on your table, if it's savory, they're going to put lemon, lime, or something of that nature, or a vinegar. If it's a dessert, some kind of shaved chocolates, not just to look pretty, it actually adds and enhances to the food. So you always want to add a little acid. And that's actually a fun restaurant trick so that your food tastes really good. Okay, I think we're almost there on this. Right over there. So I'm going to show you that right there. I'm going to go get my cream real quick. And then if anyone has any recipe questions for me about things that are not soup related, you have something from your ButcherBox that you want me to answer, I'm happy to answer it. If anyone knows how to open up cream, let me know, because I'm not being able to do that. So mine's boiling. It's going to go all over the kitchen. I apologize. Woo! Okay, no, just a little bit on me. Okay, so there goes that. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to lower this. So I'm going to lower the heat to maybe a medium low to a low so we can cook that salmon. So for everyone who's not in California, did we add pepper? You can add pepper for sure. So what I did is I add salt, I added truffle salt and the lemon pepper seasoning into it in the beginning with the veggies, but you can add some pepper if you want to. This is sort of Norwegian, so there's not a lot of pepper in this. But you can add pepper, garlic powder, anything you want. If you're gonna add pepper, maybe just add it at the end and see how it tastes once you get through all these different flavors into there. So that's what I would do. So before the salmon goes in there, I'm going to fish out my thyme stalks right in there. These didn't fall apart, but usually they do. But we got the flavor, and you can see little bits of thyme all throughout there. And actually, since we did this already, I'm just going to throw this thyme in there too. Voila. This is a great time to taste it. Anytime you're making stuff, you want to taste layers and layers of it. So we're going to taste the soup. Don't worry about that, Craig. You can just keep going until it boils. I'm going to stall a little bit too. So, oh, that tastes so good. But I think it needs a little bit more salt. So this is where you go and you're going to check your seasonings. Before you put your salmon in there, even though we season the salmon itself, you want to check the seasonings to see what it tastes like, because this is a perfect time halfway through. So I think it just needs a little bit more boost of flavor. So whoever commented on the pepper thing, it was a perfect timing. And then you mix it. This is what people do in the actual restaurants. You mix it. We're going to taste it again. Perfect. Okay. So one of the things that I suggest is that when you're making things, obviously don't eat raw things, but when you're making soups or you're making pasta sauces, to taste it as you go, but only put a tiny bit of seasoning in there, taste it, and then keep putting seasoning until it's just right for you. But also remember, once you start cooking stuff, it's going to elevate sort of that seasoning as well too. So it might get more robust as we go. So I'm going to turn my water on because I'm going to wash my hands because I'm going to touch the salmon again. But the next part of this is once you get it all in there, you're going to throw your look how seasoned this is now. You can even see the salmon kind of got a little bit more wet because the seasoning went through. It's beautiful. And ButcherBox makes the best salmon, by the way. And for working with raw stuff, I'm just going to wash my hands. So you're cooking the veggies for about 2 to 3 minutes with salt, lemon pepper seasoning, whatever season you have, right? Then after that, you're going to put it in the stock, cook that for 2 to 3 minutes or an hour if you put it on low. And then after that, you're going to put your actual salmon in there. Look, it's already starting to cook. Look, already starting to cook as we go. It's so quick and easy. You can actually make, I found another time thing. You can actually make the base of this and freeze it, and then just defrost it and put it onto your stove and just add any kind of protein you actually want. Look at that. Look how cool that is. It's already cooked. So we're going to let it go for like a minute more before we go through that, but look how cool that is. And you could stop here too if you wanted to. If you don't want it to be creamy, you could actually stop right here and this could be your chowder. But it's Sunday. We're about to go to work. We got to have a little bit of liquid courage. So we're going to put in some cream into there, which, by the way, for involving liquid courage, a nice beer would be good with this, something bubbly. An apple cider would be good with this, or a nice white wine. That'd be nice and crisp. Does it boil until the carrots are soft? You don't need the carrots to be soft, Craig. You want a little bit of a bite in the veggies. You just want the potatoes to be cooked through. So that's actually really why we cook the potatoes for a while. Oh my God, Rich, right? Doesn't it smell so amazing? It smells like home. It smells like fall pumpkin spiced lattes and sweaters so you can eat as much fattening cheeseburgers as you want. And then you don't have to work out until we get to spring again. Kind of amazing, right? Oh, I love it, Rich. You're the best. Craig, hopefully you're good on there too. Don't worry. Your stuff is going to be good in there. So, I just want to show you this. Literally all done. How amazing is that? If you do shrimp, I would probably go for like 2 to 3 minutes of boiling it, or the small little pieces of the scallop. If you're doing cod, I'd probably go 5 minutes. Don't worry, you won't overcook it because it's going to baste in a liquid. Or swordfish, but salmon, it's okay to eat it a little bit raw. This is definitely not raw. It's flaking up in there. And you can tell that the salmon is cooked because if you look at it, if I can get it out, here we go. If you look at it, you can see the lines are coming. It's separating and its lines in there. And the other thing that you can see is look at how all the seasoning we did stayed on the actual salmon right there because we marinated first. What other fish would be good for this dish? Do you prefer sockeye or Atlantic salmon? You know, that's a great question. Both are great. I prefer Atlantic salmon, maybe because I grew up by the Jersey Shore. But any kind of salmon's good. I just would try to find salmon that's not farm raised. ButcherBox salmon actually swims upstream. It actually says it on the label, which is kind of cool. So I would just find really good salmon. Sablefish, black cod. Oh man, that's like the butter of cods, Rich. That would be great as well too. Okay, while we're talking about this, the next part of this. So this is for you also, Craig, and for anyone else who was cooking this long time. Before you put your cream in, you don't want your cream to curdle. So you want to put this on a simmer, okay? You want this to go to a simmer. You want very little bubbles in there. And then this is chef's choice on how much cream you want in there. I I like it really creamy, so I'm going to go like that. But you could do whatever you want with this, and you just mix it in. And this is where the magic comes in. Forget Houdini. You are going to be your own fabulousness right here. Look at how cool that is. And you can see a little bit of that yellow from that lemon pepper in there as well too. And then those chunks just dance like confetti on a New Year's Eve party in there. And the pool of hotness right in there on a cold winter's day. It's like a salmon hot tub of love right into there. And then on low, you're also going to squeeze in some lemon. And I always squeeze it cut side up, and so that the seeds don't get into the actual dish in there. And I think someone commented that they use that thing I just showed you before, where you can do this if you're worried about seeds and you don't want to get into your eyes. You can use this and squeeze it cut side down as well too. And then you just mix it again all together. Just like that. It's almost like I'm in a salmon trance right now. It's like amazing. And we're literally almost done. The only thing I have to do now is, before we do this, is just chop up a little bit of garnish. And I'm just using parsley. I know it says dill, but I actually used the dill already into there and use the thyme rocking the boat method. So let's get some of this ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to take my soup spoon. A little goes a long way. Also dumped a whole carton. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to take my soup spoon. Let's just show you the soup spoon crawl like that. Look at that. Oh, it is a salmon facial, folks. Okay, if anyone's here from Alaska and using Alaskan salmon, that is literally the best. This actually came out even better than the one we did on social media. Okay, right there. Look at that. Okay, and then hold on. It's going to be confetti time now. A little bit of green goes a long way on there. Put a little bit of wedge onto there, and then just one more spoonful like that. Look at that. Oh, so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. I hope you guys enjoying this. Was the garlic removed? No, I left the garlic in there. And actually, thank you for saying that. I let the garlic stay in there, and I always do whenever I put a whole thing of garlic, like a whole bulb of garlic, into something. I actually say whoever gets the garlic in their bowl has to clean the dishes. So when you scoop it, if you want someone, your husband or partner or roommate, clean this to sneak the garlic into their bowl. The garlic's gonna be fully cooked through, so don't worry, they won't bite on raw garlic or anything like that. So Jen, I did not leave the salmon skins on. I took them off before class. But when you get the salmon, you can actually just take it off on your own. In there, you can actually lightly pull the skin and then put it on the cutting board and just rub your finger through it as you pull the skin off, and it should come off nice and easy, especially ButcherBox salmon because it's fresh salmon on there. So you don't have to do that. I award dishes to whoever gets the bay leaf. I love that. Same thing, Angie. That's exactly what I do. Oh, thank you so much, Rich. Rich, you rock. But I want to tell you guys something. I do this every time because easy recipes for busy people with a dash of gratitude. And one of the things about food is when we were young, I'm still in my 20s. I'm like that 19 years ago, and we had no money and we were making things out of nothing. And just like a simple soup from veggies and stuff like that, or even now when we're adding fancy ButcherBox salmon into it, it was always about the sitting at the table and the grateful for the food they have and the people we're with, or even if you're by yourself, grateful for that moment of peace after a long day. And one of the things I like about salmon soup, this soup specifically, it automatically gives you a hug. It's a warm comfort food hug. And, I grew up with Mama Goldstein, who made us chicken soup, not just on the holidays, but on cold nights. And I just remember even a bad day, a big bowl of soup can make everything all right. It's a crazy world out there. So what we need to do is be grateful, happy, love each other, and cheers to each other. And I hope that you guys have a delicious week, just as delicious as the salmon soup is. And I'm super grateful for you. Follow ButcherBox, follow Truffle Shuffle, and please follow me at Chop Happy. And I'm really grateful for you. Happy cooking, everybody. Happy cooking. And thank you, Roxy and Francine. And if you have any questions, let us know, and please tag us with your soup. All the soup for you. Thank you, thank you. Yay, everybody. Thank you. Roxy, TJ Roxy, 15. TJS out. TJS out. Thank you, guys. Have a great week. Happy cooking. All right. See you next week.